You thought you were safe. You've been on this island for weeks now. You have shelter, fresh water, food from the jungle. You built a life here? The infected, the ship, the chaos, it all feels like a distant nightmare. But then, 3 days ago, you saw something on the beach? Wreckage. Fresh wreckage. Pieces of another lifeboat, shredded life jackets, and dark stains in the sand. And this morning you heard it, that sound. The sound you hoped you'd never hear again. Screaming. Not human screaming. Rager's screaming. They're here. Welcome back, survivors. This is part 6. The island isn't safe. You escaped the ship. You survived the ocean. You built a home on this island. But the infection doesn't stop at the water's edge. And now you have to face the horrifying truth. The Raigers followed you. Or worse, they were already here. Let's talk about how you survive when your paradise becomes a hunting ground. How did they get here? You're probably asking yourself, how is this possible? How did the infected reach a deserted island in the middle of the ocean? Here's the reality. The outbreak on the SS Serenity wasn't isolated. It spread to other ships, other boats, other survivors trying to escape. Some of those boats made it to islands. Some of them crashed. And some of them were full of Raigers when they arrived. Scenario 1. Drifting infected lifeboats, debris, even floating bodies, they all drift with the currents. If an infected person was in a lifeboat or clinging to wreckage, the ocean could have carried them here. They don't need to navigate. They just need to float. And when they wash ashore, they wake up and they start hunting. Scenario 2. They were already here. Maybe your island wasn't as deserted as you thought. Maybe there were other survivors who landed here before you. Maybe they were infected. Maybe they've been here for weeks, wandering the interior of the island, dormant, waiting. And now something you did, your fire, your noise, your scent woke them up. Scenario 3. They swam. Don't laugh. We've seen Raigers do things that shouldn't be possible. They don't drown easily. They don't tire. If they saw movement on the shore, if they caught your scent on the wind, some of them could have entered the water and just kept moving. Slow, relentless, driven by nothing but the need to reach you. However they got here, it doesn't matter anymore. They're here now. And your island just became a battlefield. The first signs. Recognizing the threat, you need to know what you're dealing with before you panic. Evidence of infected activity. Fresh tracks in the sand. Raigers don't walk normally. Their gait is erratic. Their footprints deep and uneven. If you see dragging marks, stumbling patterns, or tracks that circle aimlessly, you're looking at infected movement. Disturbed campsites. If you found evidence of other survivors, old shelters, fire pits, supply caches, and they look recently destroyed. Torn apart or blood-stained, the infected found them first. Dead wildlife. Raigers will attack anything that moves. If you find mutilated birds, crabs, or small animals with no signs of being eaten, just killed. That's a Raiger kill. They don't hunt for food. They hunt because they can't stop themselves. The smell. You know this one. That sickly, sweet rot, the stench of decay mixed with sweat and infection. If you smell it on the wind, they're close. Sounds at night. Raigers are more active after dark. Listen for crashing through the brush, guttural moaning, or that horrible shrieking they make when they found something to chase. How many are there? This is critical. One infected? You can handle that. 5? Manageable if you're smart. 20 or more? You need to rethink your entire strategy. Scouting without being detected. You need to find them before they find you. Move during early morning, right after sunrise. Raigers are often slower and more sluggish after a night of wandering. Use the jungle for cover. Stay off the beach. It's too open, too exposed. Climb trees for vantage points. Get high, stay still, and scan the area. Look for movement. Listen for noise. Count how many you see. Check the shoreline for more wreckage. If you find multiple lifeboats, multiple debris fields, you're dealing with a group arrival. That means more infected. The island defense plan, you can't run. There's nowhere to go. So you defend, you fortify, and you eliminate the threat. Step 1. Secure your camp. Your camp is now a fortress. Everything you built, your shelter, your fire, your supplies, needs to be protected. Build a perimeter barrier. Use sharpened stakes driven into the ground at angles, pointing outward. Space them close together. Raigers will impale themselves if they charge blindly. String up cans, shells, or hollow bamboo filled with rocks along the approaches to your camp. When something trips the line, the noise alerts you. Dig a trench. If you have time and energy, dig a shallow trench around your camp, about 2 feet deep. Fill it with sharpened sticks, pointing upward. It won't stop them, but it slows them down and injures them. Elevate your shelter. If you haven't already, move your sleeping area off the ground. Build a platform in the trees or on stilts. Raigers can climb, but they're clumsy. Height gives you an advantage. Step 2, weapons upgrade. The spear and stone knife you made for hunting, they're now your primary defense weapons, but you need more. Spear trap array. Plant spears in the ground along likely approach paths. Camouflage them with leaves. When raigers rush toward your camp at night, they'll run straight into them. Heavy clubs. Find thick, solid branches. These are for close combat. Aim for the head. One solid strike to the temple or the base of the skull. Fire as a weapon. Raigers fear fire. Create torches using branches wrapped with dried palm fronds, soaked in coconut oil or tree sap. Keep several ready near your camp. If they attack at night, light the torches and use them to drive them back or set them ablaze. Projectiles. If you're on high ground, gather rocks. Fist-sized, heavy, throwable. A rock to the head from above can drop a raiger instantly. Step 3. Establish kill zones. Just like in the ship's cabin, you need controlled areas where you can fight them on your terms. Primary kill zone. The beach approach. If they're coming from the water, they have to cross the beach. This is open ground, no cover. Set up your defenses here. Dig pits in the sand. Cover them with palm fronds. Raigers will fall in. Line the bottom with sharpened stakes. Create a bottleneck using large rocks or driftwood. Force them into a narrow path where only one or two can approach at a time. Position yourself on elevated rocks or a platform. Fight from above with your spear or drop heavy objects on them. Secondary kill zone. The jungle trails. If they're coming from inland, they'll use the paths you've created. Use this against them. Set snare traps. Unlike animal snares, these need to be strong enough to catch a human-sized target. Use thick vines, anchor them to heavy trees. Tripwires connected to falling logs. When triggered, a heavy log swings down and crushes anything in its path. Conceal pits along the trail. Deeper than the beach pits, 4 feet minimum. No way to climb out. Combat tactics. Fighting the infected on land. Fighting raigers in the open is different than fighting them in a narrow ship corridor. You have space, but they have numbers. Rule 1. Never let them surround you. Always keep your back to something solid. A tree, a rock wall, the ocean. If they get behind you, you're done. Rule 2. Conserve energy. You can't fight 10 raigers in a row without collapsing. Fight smart, not hard. Let your traps do the work. Only engage directly when you have no choice. Rule 3. Headshots, only body hits, don't stop them. You know this. Skull strikes, neck strikes, spinal strikes. Anything else just slows them down. Rule 4. Use the environment, lead them into the ocean. They're disoriented in the water. Push them off cliffs. Trap them in caves and seal the entrance. Let the island kill them for you. If you're overwhelmed, the fallback plan sometimes, you can't win the fight. Sometimes, there are too many and your defenses fail. Emergency escape route, the water, get to the lifeboat. If you still have it, drag it into the water and row away from shore. Anchor offshore, just far enough that they can't reach you. Wait them out. Raigers don't have the coordination to swim after you for long. If you don't have the lifeboat, grab anything that floats logs, debris, sealed containers, lashed together. Paddle out beyond the surf. Stay there until they lose interest. The hidden cache. Before any attack happens, create a hidden supply cache somewhere on the island far from your main camp. Bury water, food, a knife, and fire-starting materials. Mark it secretly, so only you know where it is. If your camp is overrun, you retreat to the cache, regroup, and rebuild. The cave refuge. If the island has caves, identify one that has a narrow entrance, narrow enough that only one raiger can enter at a time. Stock it with supplies. If you're overwhelmed, retreat into the cave and defend the entrance. One at a time, you can handle them. Eliminating the threat. Clearing the island defense is survival. But if you want to truly reclaim this island, you need to go on the offense. The hunt begins. You can't just wait for them to come to you forever. You need to find them, track them, and eliminate them one by one. Tracking infected. Follow the signs. Broken branches, disturbed ground, the smell. Raigers leave obvious trails because they don't care about stealth. Track them back to their nest. Yes, they nest. They find dark places, caves, dense jungle thickets, abandoned shelters, and they cluster there during the day. The daytime assault. Raiders are slower and less aggressive during the day. This is when you strike. Approach the nest quietly. Observe from a distance. Count how many you see. If it's a small group, 3 to 5, you can handle this. Use fire. Build a perimeter of flames around the nest, if possible, then force them out one direction into your kill zone. If it's a large group, 10 or more, you need a different approach. Lure them out in small numbers using noise. Bang on trees, throw rocks, create a distraction far from the nest. When a few break off to investigate, eliminate them. Repeat until the group is manageable. The pit trap mass elimination. Dig a large pit 6 feet deep, 10 feet wide, somewhere between their nest and your camp. Cover it with a thin layer of branches and leaves. Create a noise lure on the opposite side of the pit. When they charge toward this sound, they fall in. Once they're in the pit, you have options. Spear them from above. Drop heavy rocks on them. Set the pit on fire. It's brutal, but it works. One-on-one combat. If you encounter a lone raider, this is your chance to practice. Let it see you. Let it charge. Stay calm. Sidestep at the last second. They're fast, but they can't turn quickly. As it stumbles past, strike the back of the head or neck with your club or spear. If you miss, create distance and reset. Never panic. Panic gets you killed. Long-term island security. You've cleared the immediate threat, but more could arrive. You need permanent security measures. The watchtower. Build a tall structure 15 to 20 feet high using bamboo or strong branches lashed together. This is your observation post. From the watchtower, you can see the entire beach, the jungle approaches, and the ocean. You'll spot incoming threats long before they reach your camp. Keep a signal horn, a bell, or something loud up there. If you see infected approaching, sound the alarm. The perimeter wall. This is a long-term project, but worth it. Build a wall around your camp using logs, bamboo, and packed earth. Make it 6 feet tall, reinforced with diagonal supports. Leave one entrance, fortified with a gate you can bar from the inside. This isn't just defense against raiders. This is psychological security. You need to feel safe enough to sleep. Regular patrols. Every morning, walk the perimeter of your controlled area. Check your traps, look for new tracks, listen for unusual sounds. The island is your territory now. Defend it like your life depends on it, because it does. Dealing with ongoing arrivals, the hard truth. If infected arrived once, they can arrive again. Beach monitoring. Check the beach every day at dawn. New wreckage, new bodies, new lifeboats. You need to know immediately. If you find a fresh arrival and it's infected, deal with it before it fully wakes up and becomes a threat. Early warning system. Set up markers along the beach stacked rocks, driftwood arranged in patterns. If something disturbs them, you'll know something came ashore overnight. Hang shells or bamboo chimes in the trees near the shore. The wind won't trigger them, but something moving through the branches will. The psychological toll. Living in fear again, you escaped the ship to find peace. Now the nightmare followed you. How do you cope? Accept the reality. There's no safe place. Not anymore. The infection is everywhere. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop waiting for safety and start creating it yourself. Channel the fear into action every time you feel afraid. Build something. Improve your defenses, craft a new weapon, dig another trap. Fear is energy. Use it. Remember what you've survived. You survived the ship. You survived the ocean. You survived starvation and isolation. A few infected on an island. You faced worse. You are not a victim. You are a hunter now. Shift your mindset. You're not hiding from them. They're in your territory. You're the apex predator on this island. Act like it. The final question. Stay or leave. You fought hard to survive here, but now the island is compromised. Do you stay and defend it, or do you take the lifeboat and search for another island, another chance? Reasons to stay. You know this island? You know where the water is, where the food grows, where the dangers hide. Starting over somewhere else means relearning everything. You've built defenses here. Shelters, traps, walls, Leaving means abandoning all that work. You've cleared most of the infected. The island is safer now than it was. Maintain your security, and you can hold this place indefinitely. Reasons to leave. More infected could arrive at any time. You can't control the ocean currents. You could wake up tomorrow with 20 more riggers on your beach. The psychological strain of constant vigilance will break you eventually. Living in fear, always watching, always ready to fight, how long can you sustain that? There might be a better place out there. An island with natural defenses, higher cliffs, no accessible beaches. An island where the infected can't reach you. The decision is yours. There's no right answer. Only the answer you can live with. If you stay, you commit to this fight. You fortify, you patrol, you eliminate threats as they arrive. You turn this island into a fortress and yourself into its guardian. If you leave, you take the lifeboat, you navigate by the stars, and you search. Maybe you find paradise. Maybe you find another nightmare, but at least you're moving forward. You've earned the choice. Most people didn't make it off the ship. Most people didn't survive the ocean. Most people would have given up by now, but you didn't. You're still here, still fighting, still surviving. Whether you stay on this island or sail toward the horizon, you've proven something. You're a survivor. And survivors don't quit. If this guide helped you defend your island, hit that like button and subscribe. Share your defense strategies, your close calls, your victories in the comments. This community has survived the impossible together. Keep your weapons sharp. Keep your fire burning. And stay safe out there. We'll see you in part 7 because no matter where you go, the fight isn't over yet, but you already knew that. Stay strong, survivor. You've got this.